because YouTube says I need to go live more often. So, last week, YouTube came out with its new guidance or its new requirements for 8,000 watch hours. And this is just a blabbing video of different things and my different thoughts. First of all, I've been on YouTube now since I want to say 2020. I can't even remember, so I'm not even gonna give you a date. But I've been on it for quite a while. I haven't actually taken it seriously or done a lot of videos. So some of my videos are wicked old, but those are like things from when I first started my business, which was pre-pandemic, and then things kind of got off to a wonderful start. But then I was scaling in that area and focused on getting things done, so I didn't necessarily focus so much on my YouTube channel. And excuse me, that's my lunch slash dinner. I know it's past 6. Anyway, so that's kind of a bit of the history of where I was and why I didn't really focus on growing things. And this is, again, a yapping video. So welcome if you're just joining me. Hope to see you in other non-yapping videos. But so last week, YouTube came out with their new 8,000 requirements, 8,000 hours watch thing. And I have a lot of thoughts about it. Yeah, I'm not even sure how to view things. I am, on the one hand, I feel like, okay, so this was something I understand that they're scaling because a lot more people are indeed using. I'm trying to do what you call it here. YouTube says there's an option for a quiz. So I wanted to do a quiz just to see where people are with their journey, but in any case, I can't find it. I'm sure it'll come up at some point. So, I had a lot of people. YouTube says they want to do they're doing this because they're scaling up, which I totally understand. That is 1,000%, up to them. I just feel like there are a lot of people who have been working towards the 4,000 watch hours, and that just has made things that much more challenging. So for me specifically, I had multiple goals, and I achieved one of them last year. So the first goal was to get the 500 followers, and and post the 3 shorts and all that kind of stuff. Like that's kind of like the first milestone you have. That's like the baby milestone for YouTube. So I did that. I got that, and that was great. I was very happy. I was like, hey, met that first milestone. It wasn't very hard actually because a lot of my sewing videos were already out there. So this kind of was just another way to grow that. So that worked out just fine. And then the second goal was now to not just grow. Hello, if you just joined me. So the second goal was not just to grow, but to also hit 1,000 followers, which I also happened to hit earlier this year. And since I've like kind of hit my strides, and I'm right now over the 1,500 followers count, which I think that's great. Now, here is where the struggle comes in. The struggle primarily comes in when you start looking at watch time for long form videos and shorts. I didn't really give much thought to that when I first started my YouTube channel because I was doing other things and I just figured, hey, I'm just sharing things. And if that's what other people want to do, that's great. Nobody's saying you have to make an income off YouTube. That's perfectly fine. But here's where things change a little bit. So I also have a TikTok channel and literally just hit 10,000 followers last year after almost 5 years on TikTok, which, hey, it's growth, right? But for those videos, if you're one of the early people from TikTok, you know that a lot of the videos there were very short form videos. First, it was like a minute, and then you can do 3 minutes, and then it increased to 10 minutes, and then it just has continued to grow from there. Now, the thing with that is that after I try to make my videos because I'm not posting videos in creating 2 separate videos. I'm doing one video and then posting in multiple places. So I try to make my videos ones that will catch people's attention, and my sewing videos were primarily short form videos. So I focused on that, stuck with that. There were situations where I didn't needed to do a 3 series type thing to kind of fully get through things, and that was another one. I mean, it happens, right? So I did that, and that kind of took its own thing. But I noticed that whenever I had like a 3 series type thing, the count or the watch hours kind of tanked. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to stick with a short form video because people's attention span is pretty short. And what I was doing was I would post there, download, and then bring it on here to YouTube and just post here. So that's what I had been doing for the last few years as I was growing my TikTok. Not necessarily thinking so much about the YouTube watch hours. Now that was getting me what I would consider, it was getting me the watch hours for shorts, right? But I did not realize that those hours don't necessarily count towards your long form videos. Okay. And that's where things change. I didn't realize that. I didn't know that. So obviously, difference in a situation, and now I had to start looking at things. And then I started following. Actually, I was following her during the pandemic. Her name is Modern Millie. Really, she's big on Instagram, big on TikTok, and whatever. And I started watching some of her videos and I realized, oh my gosh, like all the stuff I've been doing, thinking that it was actually getting me towards a goal, it's not. It really wasn't. So now I'm like, okay, how do I scale up and start doing longer form videos? So I started doing like 6-minute videos, 8 minutes here and whatever. But I never actually took that seriously because I didn't think anything of it. Um, and my whole thing was sharing and showing people how to sew and different things. I teach an out school, I do videos about sewing, and it's like a very niche area. So it's not one I would say a lot of people just gravitate towards. It's not a dancing channel where I do dancing videos. It's not necessarily a lifestyle channel because I try to keep my family out of stuff, especially because I have little ones. And it's not videos that I would say would are like what would be the viral type content. Sewing is not necessarily viral, and I will argue I'm actually going to be doing a post about that, about sewing and how it's transcends different generations, and just differences in how people view it. But I came to realize that I was not necessarily in what would be considered a viral niche. So when that whole YouTube came out with their news on Monday, it's saying I have a message that was hidden. Um, okay, thank you. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, sometimes I get these messages and I'm just like, okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, Blue Sarin. I apologize if I killed your name. Sorry. Anyways, so when YouTube came out with their thing on Monday, I was like, wow, I was literally just now trying to scale up with my, long form video watch hours. And most of my videos are like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes because I want to be able to keep the attention span of my audience. Um, Most of my audience are people who are new to sewing. Again, it's very, very different. So, what I did after Monday, because I was heading out of town, what I did was I decided to use AI. Even though a lot of people are blaming AI for the reason why YouTube changed their rules, I mean, I don't know. I kind of tend to think it's because they want to compete more with the likes of TikTok and Facebook. But that's just the way I look at it. It's no longer Facebook. It's called Meta. It's called Meta. So, oh, my mic is not even working. I don't know. I guess maybe I need to charge it. I thought I turned it on. I guess I didn't. So y'all probably have just been listening to me in hopefully not quiet mode, but anyways, so I hopefully the audio is now better for those who to hear me earlier, but no, I do need to charge it. That's why it's not working. So when the news came out, and I'm just gonna put this aside since it's not charged. I was like, okay, so what can I do to kind of pivot? I went on AI to look things up and say, okay, so this is where I am today. My watch hours was approximately 12:54 as of last Monday, and I said, well, not last Monday, this past Monday, so 5 days ago. So what can I do to hit my 4,000 watch hours before the end of the year? Before I actually gave it a much shorter timeline before October. Here's why. The new rules start in February. It starts February 1st, so the second month of 2027. However, I want to be able to hit my hours by October. Okay, so I want it to be as ambitious as possible. I am a project manager by trade, so for me, my mindset is always, you have to leave room for scope creep, for different things that may occur. So I have to account for potential issues or bumps and all that kind of stuff along the way. So I gave it a timeline of October, and it gave me ideas, which I think are great. The first thing it did tell me is that my long form videos have been the ones that have actually kept and held the my audience. I just need to work on my engagement, my hook, That's kind of hard for me because I just feel like when you're sewing, there's not really a hook per se. And if you have a finished product, you want to, you don't have the finished product till you're towards the end. So for me, it's a change in my mindset. Do I start this and do I sew something ahead of time and then show people and say, hey, you can achieve this. Let's go ahead and do it together, which means in most cases, I will have like multiple, two sewn items. Again, thinking about my niche here, I'm not a lifestyle person. I am not a dancing video. I am not a growth guru or whatever. So for me, it was kind of like, oh, I had the thing and it went away. It was kind of like, okay, so how do I accomplish that and still get things done? So I have to work on the hook and just kind of show what I may have done in the past and see. I don't know, it's going to be a work in progress. I'm still working on that. It gave me some topics based off of how some of my existing videos have performed, so I will start fleshing those out. I took some of those topics and that's what you're going to be seeing here on this channel. I asked it, how many times should I be posting a week now? For the last few weeks, where I've actually seen some sort of noticeable growth, as in like 3 or 4 hour watch hour growth per daily, which would add up to about 20, 21 hours per week, which is nowhere close to where I need to be. I need to be getting like over 120 something hours per day to hit the goal in October. So if you're watching this, be sure to go and watch my other playlist. Play it in the background if you need to. Nobody say you have to sit there and watch it, but just listen to it because it does give me the watch hours. Okay, thank you. Anyways, so I was like, okay, fine. Now I have some topics I can go, and mind you, I used AI, and I will come to I will talk about the YouTube option soon. So I went ahead and started jotting down some topics because basically YouTube said these were the topics that got the most engagement. So maybe focus on that and get more people engaged and all that. So I picked up those topics. I'm gonna answer some questions. They said I need to go live at least 3 times a week, or post not go live, but post at least 3 times a week. So I currently already do two. I do one podcast and I do one live every week. So my lives are usually on Sundays, and then I do a podcast on Fridays. Depending on my work schedule, I may have to move that to evenings or later on in the day. So my plan right now is that I will you should take this and charge it, is that I will add one more. And I was trying to figure out, so I went back to Gemini. I said, okay, so what is my option? What exactly kind of live should I be doing? And it suggested that I do lives that actually kind of like a Q&A type thing. And while I do want to do a Q&A, I realize that not a lot of my audience are people who would come with questions, because here's the other thing. So while AI is fun, there are different things that you have to actually feed it to give you the response you need to know. Because I said, and I specifically told it, my channel is for beginners. Now, if you're a beginner, you may not know what kind of questions you want to ask. I'm one of those people that usually thinks, okay, I put myself in people's shoes, okay? Before you ask a question, you have to have a little bit of context to know what to ask, or you have to have a little bit of a situation to know what to ask. My channel is primarily geared towards new beginners, as in people who have not sewn before. They're thinking about it, they want to know about it, they're looking to buy a new sewing machine, they want to know a little bit about what kind of machine they should buy, what a stitch is, how to use some of the stitches on their machine, how to create a buttonhole, like things like that, right? Because, and the reason I do that is because a lot of the other channels are already channels that, I'm taking this off of my phone so it doesn't continue to eat up my charge. So because a lot of the other channels already like focus on what people what people should sew, or gives you ideas of different sewing projects. So I was kind of like, I want to kind of make my own way and do my own thing, but at the same time still focus on a need, which right now is to help people really truly get into the sewing niche, so or sewing lifestyle. So I was like, okay, a Q&A session is not going to work. So what I'm going to do, which is different, I did all that talking to tell you, my plan is to use the additional posted time to just share with you my journey to date of how I'm doing and how I'm growing on YouTube. I may come in here and talk about my Amazon influencer journey, where things are, how I'm growing, the changes I'm making. I may come in here and talk about my TikTok affiliate journey. So I am going to kind of make this kind of like my influencer hour. I don't think I'm going to do a full hour. live. I don't. I, I'm an introvert, so for me, that's a long time to spend talking and looking at myself in a mirror. So, I plan on doing like probably a half hour. YouTube says 30 to 50 minutes, which is a long time. My goal is 30 minutes. I will start with that and see how that scales up. But yeah, so that's kind of what I am trying to do right now. So I'll have three. I'll still hit the three according to YouTube. Oh, the other thing is I also put it in. I said do also suggest titles for topics, strong hashtags to use, and I also asked it to find things that will allow the YouTube algorithm to pick it up. So those were options I put in. So now we've talked about the the AI aspect of things, and this was basically I used Google Gemini to do that. Google is Gemini is a Google tool. It falls under that umbrella for YouTube, so that works out great. Now, the next thing, if you are new to YouTube, or if you're not new but you've been on here for a while and never really used your channel, you will notice that there was something new added in the last few weeks, and that's like a little star type thing on your studio page. So you probably wouldn't notice it if you're on your mobile device, but if you're on a desktop device, it's in the top right hand corner, and it's a little thing that looks like a star, or I don't even know what shape to call it, but it looks like a star. Okay, there you go. And they added it, and it's the YouTube's new AI tool. So I did all my research on the other tool, and it gave me topics, it gave me ideas, it gave me hashtags, it gave me suggestions of how many times I should go live. It did all the calculations and all of that. And I gave it, I fed it a little bit of information. So the way AI works is you have to give it as much information as possible so that it can think through everything and come up with the best path forward for you. So I decided to take the similar approach with on YouTube itself, and I said evaluate my channel. So basically I was on my YouTube Studio page. I clicked on the little star in the top right hand corner. It's the AI tool, and it said ask a question. So kind of like a chat bot. Ask a question. So I put in there. I said I currently have this many followers. I want to, and I have this many. Watch hours. My goal is to hit this by this target date. What do I need to do to hit that? Are there things that I should stay away from? Are there hot topics that will help me grow? It increases my likelihood of going viral. How many minutes should I go live when I go live? How many videos should I post when I post? How often should I post when I post? And all of that stuff. So I gave it like a bunch of different scenarios, and sometimes it will come back with an answer, and I would again like add more context. Sometimes it comes with questions that I probably haven't even asked, so I will add more to it. So the first thing it had me do was go and look at my videos with the longest watch time. So that was like and I told it to come give me a 30-day plan with an actual actionable plan for each individual day. Yes. So it's like homework, okay? So what I did, I copied that, I put it in my notes on my phone, and I have been doing this. So the first day one was to go through and look at all my top videos, which I did. I looked at all of them, with the longest watch time, and then for that it said to add the what did it say to add? It said to add my playlist. So it's a sewing. This is obviously a sewing channel, so very very niche again. And I know things are very different. So I took all of my playlists. I took my playlist address and I said to add it to the top description for all of my long form videos that had the longest watch time. Now I should say it said to add it to the description, not the title, description, because apparently you don't want to change the title. So that was day one. Day two was to go in and utilize, thank you for the hearts. Day two was to go in and utilize utilize the tool to come up with more SEO friendly titles. So again, it was the top 25 videos that I have. So what I did was I went into those top 25 videos, plug using the AI chatbot tool or whatever that's on the right hand side. I put in what my video was about. So I said, I'm a sewing channel primarily geared towards my audience, beginner sewers. This is a title I have. Give me a more SEO friendly title, complete with hashtags and a short description to update my videos. So day two's assignment was to take that information and put it into like redo the title for more SEO friendly ones and also update my hashtags and descriptions. So I did that. Now that took me almost 2 hours for 25 videos. Day three was to do the same thing for the next 25. Now, this is where I started to get discouraged because I'm just like, oh my God, that's a lot. Especially because for day two, I was already like tired. And I was like, I thought I had accomplished a lot. And then when day three, I saw the plan for day three. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm committed. My goal is to hit the 4,000 watch hours. And this is what the tool itself said to do. So, want to know the future? No, I don't want to know the future, but I'll use this tool. Uh, do you have the 4,000 watch hours to monetize? So, I want to hear from you. Let me know if you have your 4,000 hours because that would be helpful for me because I don't know how everybody else is doing theirs. So day three primarily is to repeat what I did in day two. For day three, another 25 videos, and that's where I am right now. The one positive is on day two, I did a total of 30 instead of 25. So I'm hoping that I will only have 20 to do. The way YouTube sorts my videos is it does it in 30s anyway. So I kind of was like, okay, well, I mean, it's all on the same page. On page one, I'm going to do the first 30 and then the next day I'll do another whatever. I don't think I'm going to do 60, but we'll see. I have not looked into day four yet because I'm still on day three trying to survive. So we'll see how that goes. But I say all that to say this is my goal through the end of through October, which is interesting. I don't know how it calculated that if it did it through the end of October or through the 1st of October, but I gave it an October date. I don't know what it did, but we'll see how that goes. So all of this I started implementing on Thursday. So my first thing was I did a little bit of research for those who are just joining. I did a little bit of research on Google Gemini, asked a few questions, and it gave me a response. I have to go live 3 times a week, focus more on long form videos because shorts would require 10 million watch hours for my shorts, and that is a lot. I don't have the time to post so many shorts to reach that. And then long form videos is a little more doable, so that's kind of where I'm focused right now. I mean, there are people who have shorts and they do great. My problem with shorts is that because I'm very niche, I think it would be very hard for me to hit the 10 million followers or 10 million watch hours and also do repeat the same thing on the other end for 20 million once the new rule goes into effect on February 1st, 2027. So I'm focused on long form videos. That's not to say I'm abandoning shorts. I just posted a short right before I went live, so it is what it is, right? So I did that research on Gemini, and then I came into YouTube and decided to use the YouTube AI tool, kind of like the chatbot, and I asked the questions of how to grow. The funny thing is, there were similarities between what YouTube said I needed to do and what Gemini said I needed to do. So those two kind of, it kind of affirmed or reaffirmed what I was, the path I was already on, which is good. So, but the YouTube tool actually gave me a 30-day plan of what to do and how to grow. So that's kind of what I'm going to be following over the next few weeks. I will be doing like 3 long form posts every week. So one's going to be my podcast, which I typically do on Fridays. I might change the day here and there for evenings, depending on how my work schedule works out, but that will be one. Two was the live I usually do on Sundays. So if you haven't joined me on a live before in a sewing live, please do so. These are simple projects. And I know that I don't give you a heads up on what I'm going to be sewing. That's because a lot of times I'm looking for a simple enough project that I can break down to the basics. So that people who have never sewn before can see that live. You can just join me, watch it, get a feel for it, and then come back and watch it at your own pace. That's my goal. Like you don't basically I would love to be able to do it at the same pace, but since I can't keep up with every single person's pace, it makes more sense for you to watch the live and then come back again and rewatch it to follow it step by step. You can pause it and do whatever you need to do. So that's the two. And then the third one, the suggestion was more to do a Q&A, but because of the area I'm in, I am not doing a Q&A. I primarily will be doing, this is what I'm doing as a YouTube creator for, a channel geared for solo beginners. And this is how I plan on accomplishing my 8,000 or my 4,000. I keep saying 8,000, like I do not want to get to the 8,000. I want to do 4,000. I want to stick within 4,000 and get into that program first. Okay. Okay. So this is how I plan on reaching the 4,000 goal, using the tools that the AI tool, the YouTube AI tool, has told me will help me get there by October. And it did say, full transparency, it did say this is an ambitious goal. So I will try it. I will see how it goes. I am sharing it on my group pages that I manage, on my other social media channels, on Meta, and not really sure how to do it on Instagram. That's one area. It's a gray area for me. And TikTok will give me another violation, which I stay having violations on TikTok. It's so funny. I cannot have a violation-free day on TikTok. Jesus. But in any case, so I am not going to be posting that there. Once they hear me mention YouTube, I feel like their bots come quickly and say, "What is she saying about YouTube? Is she redirecting traffic?" I am not redirecting traffic for either one. I understand that they're both two different things, and both actually are very different because I think TikTok really caters to to shorter form videos versus YouTube, which caters to long form videos. So that's a huge difference. I'm not bashing either one. It would be nice to get people on both, but people convert from there here. But I'm very realistic, and I know that's not necessarily the case because some people want to watch long form here, not necessarily on YouTube because I'm on TikTok because people are eager to see what the next video is. What the next video is. I too I'm guilty of that, so I'm not faulting anyone. Anyway, so my videos here will be one podcast, two live where I actually do a demonstration, and three where I give you an update on my user generated content videos or my growth videos. So you'll see stuff about my Amazon affiliate journey, which I'm an Amazon affiliate. Literally, I've been on there forever, right? And never did anything with it, and then decided to take it seriously in April. So my Amazon affiliate journey, it's growing though, and I'll give you updates and stats on all those things. And then I also am a TikTok shop affiliate. So that means that I get products, I do a video, and if people purchase it, I get a certain commission. I also post some of those videos on my YouTube channel. I have another channel on here and on my Amazon storefront. So that's all the stuff. So I will be sharing over the coming weeks all those things as my third live. So I feel like that will help. Between those, I am also going to continue to post my long form videos, things that I can do that takes, that people might want to watch. So I have one coming out either tomorrow or Monday. I can't remember when I scheduled it for, sorry, but it's going to be a cool one. It's almost fall, and I think this is one of the ones that you can actually have as a gift and give as a gift to folks. I'm not going to tell you what it is, so be sure to subscribe and click on my um, Sewing for Absolute Beginners playlist because it will have all of that there. Anyways, I would love to hear what y'all are doing to monetize, to grow on YouTube, and to see. I want to see how other people are getting there. And after saying all this, I know it's easy to get discouraged and just be like, I give up. I, for one, would like to say that, but I feel like I have grown this much and I have challenged myself this much and I have stretched this much over the last few months, weeks, years. And I would like to see how I can continue to grow and increase over time. So I don't want to just give up and just throw in the towel. I will keep going. And if you're someone like me who's trying to, then I say, please keep going. You just never know who you might encourage. You never know who you might teach something. I had posted a video a few weeks ago, and I'm about to wrap it up. I posted a video a few weeks ago about, the things that every sewing machine should have before you purchase it. And I love the comments. Every time I get a comment, I'm just very, very excited to respond to the questions because I love when I see people engage. When people tell me about their experiences, when people tell me about something that worked for them, something that didn't work for them. If you have a question about something that you've seen and you're just like, That doesn't make sense to me, especially during a sewing journey. All those kinds of things really do encourage me and keep me going. So I feel like, it is good to continue that. People, sewing is different and it transcends generations. And I know in the world of AI, in the world of automation, in the world of robotics, things will look a little different. But I could tell you, in all the years, like I started sewing when I was 8 years old, in all the years, and with all the technology advancements and different things, I personally, for one, I I am very appreciative when I get a handmade gift or handmade item. I'm sure machines can do stuff. I mean, I buy most of my clothes. 95% of my stuff is bought. But when I get that one item that is made, handmade, and I know someone took the time and they sat down and they made it for me, it's a little different and a lot more special. So, if you are someone or you know someone who loves to sew and interested in learning, I also do some knitting and crochet, but that's not going to be done primarily here. I might have a video here and there, but that's not going to be it. It's going to be primarily people who are trying to learn to sew. But if that's your thing, watch my playlist. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on how you plan to monetize, how you plan to grow, how you plan on getting your 4,000 watch hours before February 1st, because I know that that's a thing that a lot of people are currently dealing with and trying to figure out how to navigate that. So, anyways, thanks so much. And until next time, I'm going to have a live tomorrow. So be on the lookout. If you want to see a sewing video, I will have that there as well. Talk to you soon. Bye.